Good afternoon, boys and girls. How are you feeling this afternoon? That is lovely. I'm happy to hear. Now, before we get into today's lesson, we will recap what we did last week. Who remember what we did last week? That is correct. We learned to calculate profit and profit percentage, loss and loss percentage. Now, who remembers what is a profit? That is correct. The profit is the extra money gained from selling an item that we purchased, from reselling an item that we purchased. Now, who can tell me what is a loss? Yes, that is also correct. A loss is the money that we lose when we sell an item for less than we purchased it for. Now, before we get into today's lesson, I'd like for you to sit back, fold your arms, and I want you to take a look at a short video for me. Okay, boys and girls? Thank you.
Bar graph. Today, let's learn about data representation. Data representation is the method of representing information in terms of pictures, symbols, graphs, or numbers. The information that we collect is called data. We can reach certain conclusions on studying the data. There are different methods of data representation. One of them is bar graph. Bar graphs may be horizontal or vertical. Now, let's look at the data chart of the flowers collected. We have already represented this data using a pictograph. Now, another way of representing this data is through a bar graph. Every bar graph has 1. A title, which tells us what the bar graph is about. 2. Both side and the bottom of the graph have a label which tell us what kind of data is shown. 3. The scale tells us the number each block is equal to. Now, let's see how we can read this bar graph of the flower farm example. The title, Flowers Collected, tells us the bar graph is about the number of flowers collected. The labels give us the information that the date.
Alright, boys and girls. Now, based on the video that we just looked at, who can tell me what our topic for today is? Wonderful. Our topic for today is bar graph. Now, who can give me a small definition for what is a bar graph? All right, you can stand. Go ahead and tell the class. Beautiful. Give her a round of applause. Now, I have a small definition here that I have written down to give to you. It says a bar graph is a graphical display of quantities since the height of each bar gives the relative size of each item on the graph. Now, based on the video, who can tell me what are the 2 types of bar graph? Good. And what is the next one? Lovely. Yes, the 2 types of bar graphs are horizontal bar graphs, where you can see the items are located facing horizontally. And there are vertical bar graphs where the items are going up. Now, who can tell me what are some properties of a bar graph, or what it takes to make up a bar graph? One at a time. Go ahead. Yes, we have a title. Yes, we have the scale or the axes. Yes, we have the labels. Yes, we also have the bars. And yes, we have the intervals. Now, the parts of the bar graph can be seen here on this representation here. It says here, this bar graph is based on my favorite colors. This here is the title of the bar graph. These two here are the bars. Number of students and colors are the labels. These two here are the intervals. We have two intervals, which means that we have two items that we're looking at, which are purple and yellow, the colors. And we have the axes, which is Y and X axis. Now, here on this side, I have a small write-up about all of these here. It says the axes are the lines on the graph you measure from to find a value. There are two axes on the graph. As you can see here, there are two of them. There is the y-axis and there is the x-axis. Now, it says title is the second one. It says the title gives an idea of the information being presented in the graph. See, it says here, my colors. It tells you what we're looking at. We're looking at my colors, which are purple and yellow. It says the labels tells what is being represented on each axis. So you see one label is here. It says number of students. And this one says colors. It says the interval measures the amount of different groups. So these are the intervals here. And it says bar, which are rectangular blocks that represent data. So these here are our bars. Does everyone understand that? Now, before we continue, I have some additional points I would like to give you. I would not be writing them on the board. However, I have a handout to give you with that information. Okay, boys and girls? Now, the additional points to note on bar graphs are that the spaces between the bars are constant. You see here? The space between this bar and the axis is this size here, it's 1 finger. And the space between this bar and that bar is the same size. Now, the second one, it says the width of the bars are constant. So you look here, this bar here is approximately 7 cm. And this one is also 7 cm. It says another one is the height of the bars represent the amount of items on the frequency. Look here, you see the height of this represents how many students like purple. 15 of them. How many like yellow? 6 of them. Another one to note is that a bar graph is best drawn on a graph sheet for greater accuracy. Okay, boys and girls? Great. Now, bar graphs can be used to display numerical data. However, the data must be discrete and not continuous. The last one says bar graphs can be drawn horizontally or vertically. Alright, now I have a example here that I'm going to work for you on the board. Now let me just read the question for you and then we'll get straight into it. It says the following scores were obtained by a group of students in grade 7 rows on a mathematical quiz out of 6. So the highest mark any student could have gotten is 6. So we have to put 0 because that's an option. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. 2 students got 0. 7 students got 1 mark. 11 students got 2 marks. 10 students got 3 marks. 14 students got 4 marks. 6 students got 5 marks. And 0 students got 6 marks. So nobody got 6 marks. Now here is a bar graph that I have constructed to represent the information. I did it ahead of time so as to save on time. Now, who can tell me what type of bar graph this is? Anyone? Yes, go ahead. That is correct. Give him a round of applause. This is a vertical bar graph. And you see it has here, it has a title, which says scores on a math quiz. It has the labels. It has the intervals. It has our bars also. So as you can see here, it says 2 students received 0 marks. 7 students received 1 mark. 11 students received 2 marks. 10 students received 3 marks. 14 students received 4 marks. 6 students received 5 marks. And 0 students received 6 marks. Does everyone understand what just happened there? Great. Now I have a worksheet to pass around to the class that we will need to work. But before we do that, I want to ask you some questions based on this bar graph to see how much you understand. Now, who can tell me what is the score that was received the most? Which score most of the students got? The score with the highest frequency. Big exam. Yes, that is 4 marks. What is the lowest? Yes, that is correct. 2 students received 0 marks. All right, let me pass out the worksheets. Go ahead and look at it there. You have a bar graph that has already been constructed. All you need to do is to answer the questions based on that bar graph. Okay, students? I have my worksheet here in front of me so I can see exactly what you have there. All right. Now, since everyone is finished, there are 6 questions there. How many did you answer? Good, you did all of them. Now, based on the bar graph, how many trees did they see? Great, they saw 5 trees. 5 trees. Now, which tree did they see the least of? Correct, it is oak. The next question says, which tree did they count 7 of? Correct, that is cedar. How many cedar and pine tree did they see all together? Yes, that is correct. The answer is 17. Now the next question says, what is the second most frequent tree? It says, let me check here. It is evergreen. Yes, correct. And Arthur counted 3 more pine trees on his way home. How many different types of tree did Arthur count all together that day? Come on, tell me. Yes, that is 35. Now, before we wrap up the lesson, I want to ask a few questions. Who can tell me what are the 2 types of bar graph? Beautiful, give her a clap. Now, who can say what is a bar graph? Wonderful. Now, you have homework that needs to be completed before the next class. It is in your text. It is the work that I'm going to hand out. You're going to answer those questions and bring it back for next class. Okay, boys and girls? Have a good evening. Bye.